Welcome to StorixStories, where every narrative breathes with life. Dare to listen. This is StorixStories.
The Woman on the Top Bunk, a haunted dorm experience. You've probably heard the stories. Every boarding school has one. The abandoned dorm block, forgotten by time, left to decay, and filled with whispers of things that don't belong. Some say it's just stories told by seniors to scare new students. But what if one of those stories turned out to be real? A man never believed in ghost stories. When he transferred to a prestigious full boarding school in northern Malaysia, he heard the usual legends from the senior students. Stories of haunted hallways, shadowy figures in the night, and cursed buildings that no one dared to enter. There was one story that kept coming up. The old dormitory block, long abandoned, left to rot at the edge of the school grounds. They said strange things happened there. Students who stayed too long heard voices. Some even claimed to have seen figures dancing alone in the dark. Ataman laughed it off. Just stories, he thought. Just something to scare the new kids. That is, until it happened to him. The move to the old dorm. One day, the school administration announced urgent maintenance work on a man's current dorm block. All students would be temporarily relocated to the old dorm, the very same one from the senior students' ghost stories. A chill ran through a man's spine. But he shook it off. Ghost stories or not, he had no choice. He and the other students were assigned rooms in the dusty, neglected building. The place smelled of mold and wood rot. The walls were stained, cobwebs hung like curtains, and though the building was structurally sound, it felt wrong. Too quiet, too heavy. Ammon was placed in a room with his two close friends. It had 2 bunk beds. Ammon took the top left bunk. His friend took the bottom, and their third friend chose the top bunk on the opposite side. They joked, unpacked, and tried to settle in. But the moment night fell, the unease began. The first night, Batasan Bomam F. The ceiling fan didn't work. The air was humid. They sweated under their sheets, tossing and turning. Eventually, everyone fell asleep, except a man. He woke up around 1 a.m., drenched in sweat. The heat was unbearable. But it wasn't just the heat that kept him awake. There was a presence in the room. Something was watching him. From the corner of his eye, he noticed the bottom bunk across from him was empty. No one slept there, but it felt like someone, or something, was lying on it, staring at him. His heart started pounding. Then he heard it, a soft, feminine voice, humming a melody right by his ear. A lullaby, slow and broken. He froze. Every hair on his body stood on end. A man slowly pulled his blanket up to his eyes, trying not to breathe too loudly. Then he saw her, the woman who danced. She was standing next to the empty bed, directly in his line of sight. Her body was swaying rhythmically, as if she were dancing to silent music. Her face, pale as chalk. Her eyes, black and hollow. Her mouth moved, humming the tune that now echoed inside his skull. Her arms waved in unnatural puppet-like motions. Her long black hair floated as if she were underwater. And worst of all, she looked directly at him. He couldn't scream. He couldn't move. His body trembled. He pulled the blanket tighter, his lips muttering every prayer and verse he could remember. And then he lost control of his body. He wet the bed out of sheer terror, and she kept dancing. The others heard it. Too suddenly, his friend from the bunk below stirred. "Aman, bro, are you okay?" The lights flicked on. The woman vanished, but the room was silent, so silent it hurt his ears. His friend climbed up and stared at him. Amon's face was pale, his body shivering. The mattress was soaked. His friend looked shaken too. I heard her too. He whispered. I thought I imagined it. Until I heard you reciting Quran verses. That's when I knew it was real. Their third friend, who had been silent until then, sat up slowly. I saw her too, he said. All three stared at each other, frozen in horror. None of them spoke again that night. They grabbed their pillows and bolted to a friend's room down the hall, squeezing into a cramped space just to feel safe again. None of them slept. Aftermath. The next morning, all three of them were running high fevers. They were sent to the sick bay. For a full week, they lay weak, haunted by nightmares, flinching at shadows. Eventually, the school had to call a religious healer, an ustaz, to cleanse the building. The ustaz later said something chilling. You entered her space. She never left. She was just waiting for someone new. Final reflection. Optional closing line for your video. A man no longer laughs at ghost stories. He refuses to sleep on the top bunk. And to this day, he avoids abandoned buildings. Because he knows now, some places are empty for a reason. So the next time you hear about an unused dorm block being reopened, ask yourself, who lived there last? And more importantly, did they ever leave?